often tell young ladies that no excellence in music is to be acquired without constant practice.
You intend to frighten me, Mr. Darcy. It won't work. My courage rises at your every attempt to intimidate me.
You do not believe me to entertain the design of alarming you. I've had the pleasure of your acquaintance long enough to know that you find great enjoyment in occasionally professing opinions which, in fact, are not your own.
Your cousin will give you a very pretty notion of me and teach you not to believe a word I say. But careful, sir. You are provoking me to retaliate. Such things might come out as will shock your relations to hear.
I am not afraid of you.
Pray let me hear what you accuse him of. I should like to know how such a paragon behaves among strangers.
Very well, you shall hear it then. But prepare yourself for something dreadful. Upon my first meeting, Mr. Darcy was at a ball, where he refused to dance, though there was more than one young lady sitting in want of a partner.
I have not the honor of knowing any lady in the assembly, and I am ill-equipped to recommend myself to others.
We might ask such a man of such education and sense how such a man might be ill-equipped to recommend himself to strangers.
I had not the talent of easily conversing with those I have never seen before.
Thankfully for those present, that is not the case here. Strangely enough, after our delightful evening at Lady Catherine de Bourgh's, the two cousins came often of an evening to the parsonage. It was evident that Colonel Fitzwilliam enjoyed Charlotte in my society, but why Mr. Darcy came was more difficult to understand.
You would not laugh me to scorn, Eliza. I might suggest the possibility of his being partial to you.
The gentleman seldom meets my gaze, and will sit for more than 10 minutes without saying a word.
But he often looks at you quite appraisingly when your looks are engaged elsewhere.
Oh, stuff. I'm going for a ramble in the park.
Ah, Miss Elizabeth.
Colonel Fitzwilliam, I did not know you ever walked this way.
Are you going much further?
No, I was done in a moment. Do you certainly leave for Kent on Saturday?
Yes. Darcy does not put it off again.
I do not know anyone who so much enjoys the power of doing what he likes as Mr. Darcy.
So we all do. It is only that he has better means than many of us, and I am at his disposal.
I imagine that he brought you with him simply for having you at his disposal. It is a wonder he does not marry to secure a lasting convenience of the kind. But I suppose that his sister, since she is under his sole care, will do for the present.
In fact, I am joined with him in the guardianship of Miss Darcy.
Indeed. Girls her age can be difficult to manage, and if she has true Darcy spirit, she should like to have her own way.
Indeed, she is one of the most tractable creatures in the world, and a great favourite of Miss Bingley's. I think I heard you say you know her?
A little. Mr. Darcy is very close to Mr. Bingley and takes a prodigious deal of care of him.
Something Darcy said, I have reason to think Mr. Bingley very much indebted to him. It is a circumstance which, of course, Darcy could not wish to be generally known because, well, if it got round to the lady's family, it would be an unpleasant thing.
You may, of course, depend on my not mentioning it.
He told me merely that he congratulated himself on lately having saved a friend from the inconveniences of a most imprudent marriage. I only guessed it to be Bingley because, well, his open nature might get him into a scrape of that sort.
Pardon me, but I do not see what right Mr. Darcy had to decide on the propriety of a friend's inclination.
As I recall, there were some strong objections to the lady's family. One was a country attorney and another with a sort of mercantile background, and perhaps an unsuitable mother. But this is all conjecture. Good day to you, Miss Beckman.
To Jane herself, there could be no possibility of objection, all loveliness and goodness as she is. And even my father, though with some peculiarities, does have abilities that even Mr. Darcy dare not disdain. Of course, my mother. But Mr. Darcy would receive a far greater wound from the want of importance in his friends' connections than from their want of sense. Mr. Darcy has been moved by the worst kind of pride, and partially from wanting to retain Mr. Bingley for his sister.
Miss Bennet,
Mr. Darcy,
may I? Would it be suitable if I inquired of your health?
my health?
As I've not encountered you the past few days, I thought I'd come to inquire of your health.
My My health, Mr. Darcy, meets all of the usual standards.
Ah,
Yes.
oh. In vain, I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. I see I dismayed you. I am slow, even dilatory. I should have declared myself an earlier date. But there were, of course, the family obstacles which judgment always opposed to inclination. The general sense of your social inferiority, of it being a degradation of the line. I cannot forget my responsibility to this state, a way of life, a prized place which, given your circumstances, disclude you. And thus the very honesty I described took place against my will and reason, or rather in opposition of my character and inclination. But the very strength of my attachment has made it impossible for me to conquer my feelings, and I only can express the hope that these feelings will now be rewarded by your acceptance of my hand. There. I have spoken ill, but I mean well, Miss Bennet.
In such cases as this, it is, I believe, the established mode to express a sense of gratitude for the sentiments avowed, however unequally they may be returned. It is natural that obligation should be felt, and if I were grateful, I would now thank you. But I cannot. I have never desired your good opinion, and you have bestowed it most unwillingly. The feelings which you say have long prevented the acknowledgement of your regard can have little difficulty in overcoming it after this explanation.
This is all the reply I am to have the honor of expecting. I might perhaps wish to be informed why, with so little endeavour and civility, am I thus rejected.
I might as well inquire why, with so evident a design of offending me, you chose to tell me that you liked me against your will, against your reason, and even against your character. Was not this some excuse for incivility if I was uncivil? But I have other provocations, you know I have. Do you think that any consideration would tempt me to accept the man who has been the means of ruining, perhaps forever, the happiness of a beloved sister? You divided Mr. Bingley and Jane, or at least yours was the principal means, involving them both in a misery of the acutest kind. Can you deny that you have done it?
I have no wish to deny that I did everything in my power to separate my friend from your sister. But I rejoice in my success. Towards him I've been kinder than towards myself.
Quite clearly said. But it is not merely this affair on which my dislike is founded. Your character was unfolded to me many months ago in the recital which I received from Mr. Wickham.
You take eager interest in that gentleman's concerns.
Knowing his misfortunes, who had not taken interest in him.
His misfortunes.
And of your infliction. You withheld the advantages which you must have known would have been meant for him, and yet you treat the mention of his misfortune with contempt.
And this is your opinion of me. I thank you for explaining it so fully. Had these bitter accusations been suppressed, had I, with greater policy, plunged you into the belief of my being impelled by unqualified, unalloyed inclination. But disguise of every sort is my abhorrence.
The mode of your declaration has not affected me, Mr. Darcy. You could not have made me the offer of your hand in any possible way that would have tempted me to accept it. From the very beginning, your arrogance and selfish disdain for the feelings of others has created an immovable dislike. You are, Mr. Darcy, the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry.
It's quite enough, madam. Perfectly comprehend your feelings. Forgive me for having taken up so much of your time. Accept my best wishes for your health and happiness.
Will be a 15-minute intermission. Concessions are available on the patio.